Yeah, what's good? It's your boy, Woodz. In this video, you guys, this is episode 2 of Whispy inSIGHT. And basically, as continued from the last episode, the main object and understanding that we understood was choices. In this episode, we will be understanding the God complex. Now, for those of you who do not understand what a God complex is, it's a sense of thought. But yes, there are dualities with this same sense of thought. On one side of this duality is an arrogant person, a person who feels as though he is so godly that he is no different than God himself, and that he is above him. And then there is a sense of understanding that you are of God and that you possess the same power of God within your choices. Now, even though this can be taken in such a negative aspect as to think you are playing God, which is a sin, to play God is also to act of something godly. And I know that this sounds a bit confusing, but you know I always get to my point. And now if you're wondering why I'm showing Dragon Ball Z, the first thing I want you to understand are the aspects that we have understood thus far within not only the mystery, but within life. And that is the aspect of the peach and nature and the head of gold tied to the Antichrist. But understand, there are dualities with this head of gold, whereas it can be a literal head of gold, and on a side of nature and man and evil, there is a good aspect of nature that can pertain to gold, and that is a crown. King. Who is our king? God. Now, these are just subtle clues to prove a lot of my points that I've been bringing up in every single one of my videos about the spectrum. And that is the colors from purple. And the aspects of the peach. But when you invert this lie, because he is not truly a peach, you get seeing. Now, understand what I mean about this. These are evil aspects when you invert them the right way. There is a wrong way to do this inversion, but understanding the inversion is what will help us understand some of the clues. Now, not, once again, to sully too many things out with just aspects of the mystery. I want to bring a big aspect to life here and what we've been watching with fans. Me being a personal fan of this show that I have come to understand, and that is the aspects of evil and good, but on a deeper spectrum, starting with Hercule. Hercule was originally named, and his last name is Mr. Satan. They even make a point to make his name correlate with his first name, which is Mark, the mark of Satan. But then when it was changed, for a Western audience, it was changed to Hercule, the son of Zeus within Greek mythology. Inversion, Satan to the son of God. Now it's pretty interesting that Hercule spins a web of lies pertaining to the fact that he is supposedly the greatest fighter among all of the world champion, even though he cannot even beat up his daughter, Videl. Now, aside from Hercule, one aspect of, again, the peach is pink, and that is Majin Buu, the sorcerer and or genie. But for a light history of what a genie can really mean, I know a lot of you probably think genie from Aladdin, but no. Genies were called Majin, and Majin were evil spirits, no different than haunted houses or a haunted lamp. And a lot of the aspects of tying a wish to a genie always had an evil duality to it. You would wish something, but there would always be a harsh reality on the other side of this wish. And it goes inside with getting the evil side of that mirror. And it's also with the web of lies of the devil, and how you can sell your soul to the devil, but some fucked up shit always ends up happening. Now, we understand that these sayings, okay, are tied to the peach within symbolism on a deeper aspect. But understand the different lineages and why we can understand the personalities of these people just based on perception of the spectrum. And the key point here is not just about Dragon Ball Z. Okay, this isn't an anime fucking video. This is a video about understanding the warnings of life and how life has programmed itself to be embedded in everything that we see. Even subconsciously, we cannot help but pertain these things into things that we do. And it's deeper than our control. And I'm showing you guys a lot of these things that can be either warnings to heed away from, or things to gravitate towards because they are of God. Whether or not you believe in Him is irrelevant, because to act like you know is to not unknow. And one of the many aspects of the Epsilon tract is to unknow the truth. Vegeta is a part of this lineage that I speak of, that separates the peach. Okay. And it's pretty interesting that Vegeta mostly wears his blue. But within a duality of this blue, there is an aspect of peach, which is why he is evil early on. And his sun is of nature, not necessarily evil, which is my point about the differences between understanding the different evils. He is an olive green and or dark. But when you invert it, you get a different aspect of purple. And it's not as evil as Piccolo. Now, Piccolo is pretty interesting because even though he joins with the Z Fighters and he's pretty good, a lot of the fans know him to be a demon. Now, one thing that's pretty interesting within Dragon Ball Z and Akira Toriyama and his work is the aspect of symbolism and wordplay. All of, well, not necessarily all, but most of the main characters that we've known to love in this series all have word plays with their names, from Piccolo, meaning evil and demon, in a lot of different folklores and a lot of different religions, to Trunks and his sister Bra being tied to the Briefs family clothing. Vegeta is a wordplay of vegetable, and that's why his brother is named Tarble. But Tarble, when you segregate and rearrange, is table. vegetable. All of these characters have aspects of things that we have been looking up. And they're only proving my point that it is not only GTA that follows this rhythm of understanding, but by understanding it, they've given us the clues that we need to really, truly understand it. And that's segregate and rearrange in all of the spectrums that we have used. As we go along within this series, we will understand more. But understanding a God complex is a lot deeper than just spectrums, and it has to do with prophecy, like a resurrection. The thing is that when they bring back something as awesome as Frieza, they say it's a resurrection. And Frieza is an extraterrestrial who destroys planets with his finger. But what's very interesting about this extraterrestrial is that golden evolution. Now, what I mean by this is that there are two dualities of golden, and one is the peace and inversion that we see it inverted. It turns into blue, but when we see the physicalities of this gold and that greed of gold, we understand that it's something so evil that it's tied to something as far as Satan himself. They even said that Satan would eventually bear the mark of the beast upon the Antichrist. And in a game, Majin Frieza exists. Am I saying Frieza is the Antichrist? Honestly, yes. I mean, I've watched this show a lot, and that's how I feel. Especially for him to have a resurrection, and he's fallen several times, but he always comes back in several different forms, just like the Antichrist would. Not only that, but he is an hermaphrodite. Now, before I get into deeper aspects of Goku and a little bit of why I showed you Battle of the Gods, I do want to make note of a few things that happened early on in the show that kind of make a template to not necessarily the exact same story within GTA, but the hidden tones behind all of the biblical aspects of the mystery and the aspects of why we are looking at what we're looking at, like monkeys. A great ape, okay, on Dragon Ball Z are tied to the Saiyan race, an extraterrestrial race. But not only is this race known to be the main character's race, Goku, okay, that is tied to a lot of the aspects that are good within nature, but the great ape was an evil aspect of Goku early on, which is why he got his tail removed. Now, understanding this ethic understands that the point of evolution was to adapt to his surroundings, and that goes into a big part of survival, and that is a key part of this whole thing here. Now, one thing I do want to make note of are the aspects of why Goku does what he does. Goku considers himself of Earth. He doesn't consider himself an alien or a Saiyan until later on when he takes upon his pride of being what he is. Now, this can be taken in duality of Michael realizing that he is who he is, not a bad person, that he is cut out for the limelight in just sunbathing and doing yoga. that could be his evolution from being a bank robber. Now, I think that this is all due to adaptation and survival. So understand, when you see certain things like red upon Goku and you think that, well, this show is just evil because it's teaching kids that, oh, well, you're just playing God, and things are not that evil. And they're teaching you guys the spectrums when you're about 12 years old. You just don't know it because it's all subconscious. The Super Saiyan God form of Goku is red. And it looks like he is of the red hair. It even looks like he is beyond God. But within wordplay, to go beyond something is to advance. Okay? To be advanced in it. Saiyan advanced God. Now, when a Saiyan prodigy manages to become a Super Saiyan God and then absorb and retain its power, then they lose form and then revert to base. They take on a new state of being, referred to as Saiyan beyond God, and or Saiyan advanced God. Once mastered, this state of being allows the Saiyan to utilize their God power in base as a normal form, no different than how Michael seems so normal. He seems as if he's just a bank robber, or they're just fighters, but they could be telling us things. And if they possess their Super Saiyan form, okay, if they possess the Super Saiyan form, they become capable of transforming into a Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan. Now, I know this sounds like anime bullshit, because a lot of shit sounds like bullshit to people who don't believe in anything. They're called atheists. And the aspect of understanding is so beyond their complex, because God does not exist to them. Now, what's interesting about this Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, aside from the fact that it's a stupid fucking name, Kyori Toriyama, what the fuck, is the fact that this specific form actually has the hair of Saiyan. Now, is this a coincidence, or are we honestly just uncovering new things that we have never fucking noticed about life? I think we are, and I think GTA is helping us. Until next time, spread the truth, and keep your eyes open and your mind clear. Understanding this ethic understands that the point of evolution was to adapt to his surroundings. And that goes into a big part of survival. And that goes into a big part of survival. A big part of survival, survival, survival.
Hey, it's certainly been an education. Surviving is winning, Franklin. Everything else is bullshit. Fairy tales spun by people afraid to look life in the eye. Whatever it takes, kid. Survive. Aim straight. Surviving is winning, Franklin. Surviving is winning, Franklin. Fairy tales spun by people afraid to look life in the eye. Fairy tales spun by fairy tales spun by fairy tales spun by.
Now, I think that this is all due to adaptation and survival.
Afraid to look life in the eye. Life in the eye. Life in the eye. Life in the eye. Afraid to look life in the eye.